rain drops down a couple feet again to catch the wind that still remains, but I'm left breathless anyway. I thought the world ended in March until I heard the doorbell ring. Just me here standing in the dark, but I'll light up everything again. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all the summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back It's not the same when I'm with you. You open up before I do. Came out a different shade of blue. It's not the same when I'm with you. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. How long's the shoreline anyway? I've measured every other day. Tide washes all my work away. How long's the shoreline anyway? But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. Oh, I'm not supposed to answer. I'm not supposed to know all that. The silence answer, I've got to let it go. Oh,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of Nerdy Live in the Morning, the best morning show in commentary because we are the only ones doing it. Let's see who we got here in chat today. We got Shenry, we got Jacob, Chris W, Iron Duck, just to name a few. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We have some of the 12 closest friends and family here today. And guys, oh boy, do we have a topic for today? Because, and admittedly, this isn't something that I'm all too shocked by, but Tommy C has left Lolcow. You see, I knew it was either going to be Tommy being fired, or it was going to be one of the Lolcows leaving, and that would ruin the show. Initially, everyone thought it was going to be Boogie, but hey, it all turns out Tommy, once again, has been fired by Keemstar, because Tommy has a backbone, whereas Wings and Boogie, not so much. Because, and actually, let me bring up his initial tweet about it, because Keem was trying to make Tommy and all the other Lolcows sign an NDA. Now, this NDA would supposedly try to prevent them from talking about the income of the show, which, by the way, you're not allowed to disbar someone from telling how much they make. Just a little FYI. Here is the non-disclosure agreement right here. Obviously it's on the phone, so it's not like the full document. But Willie Mac says here, I don't see a reason to sign an NDA when relating to an internet podcast. An NDA? Oh my god. How did he think how this would play out? And this NDA comes after Boogie's CoffeeZilla situation. And during that whole thing, Boogie was very open about how he makes about $2K a month from the streams, and also he was trying to say that Tommy was talking about how much he makes too, which I don't believe Tommy was. But again, even if he did talk about how much he made, it's well within his right to talk about what he makes. You can't. It's illegal to try and stop someone from talking about how much they make. Good morning, Twilight Midnight. How you doing? But yeah, this whole situation has spiraled into very chaotic streams from the Lolcow and Tommy, of course, when he was back from his vacation, he made a live stream about it. So let's watch a little bit of his live stream, shall we? Gotta include the intro.
Keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, I'm bringing you live from the earth. This is the most badass, the original drama cast. Stopping the point. I'm here with Jenny. Verse was supposed to be here, but he's appeared not to have shown up. Maybe he'll pop in later. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
Great.
Let's
cut the music and get right into it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to disappoint you all. I'm not doing the Tommy C bit today. I'm just going to let you know exactly what's going on. I've been down this route with Baited before. I certainly made a mistake. So I'm not going to hand Keem the rope this time so I can hang myself with it. I'm just going to tell you how the system works.
And you know what? Hopefully they didn't deny him this last payment. Because ultimately, I think we all knew as an audience, or at least people who were familiar with Tommy and his past with Keem, I think we all knew on some level that this was going to end up being a train wreck. However, this was phenomenal for Tommy. I mean, if we remember, at first, none of the Lolcow audience really liked Tommy at first. Actually, if I go to Lolcow Live and I look at their initial episode, there are a lot of comments talking about how much they do not like Tommy. Let's see, first episode. Let's see. Yep. Here's like a top comment right here. This is just an hour of Tommy grilling Boogie, Wings commonly asking questions to make Boogie dig deeper a hole for himself, and being. Oh wait, no, this is not a critical comment. I was like, usually when this is just an hour of Tommy, that's. Oh yeah, here we go. Good job, boys. Tommy C needs to chill out and let people speak. Tommy C is actually unbearable. Am I crazy, or is Wings the most likable person on this panel? So yeah, the audience, obviously, people knew Tommy from Baited, but I doubt the people who track lolcows in the wild were actively watching Baited and Tommy C at the time, right? So they're not familiar with Tommy's shtick. The Reddit wants Tommy back. Oh, I would imagine so. But I think, how many episodes have they done with Tommy now? I need to double check now. Let's see. They are. Well, let's look at the last numbered episode. Well, let's see. That was just a vlog, so roughly about 51 episodes with Tommy, plus some streams that he was able to attend, and the highlight clips here and there. So yeah, there's quite a bit of content the audience been exposed to with Tommy, and I think the audience really starts to like him at first, and it shows. Tommy, has been stuck below. He was at like 49, 48, 49K for the longest time. And thanks to doing Lolcow, he was able to now get to 52K subscribers. And that's awesome for Tommy. I think we all need to applaud him for that. It's great. Because obviously, like, it sucks that Tommy, for some reason, doesn't get the traction that he deserves. But it's clear he's a talented guy, because as soon as a new audience finds him, they love his content, they subscribe, and I'm hoping that this new audience sticks with him. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's hear Tommy's side of the story.
What you're hearing, and just let you, like, I'm not going point for point with Boogie. Boogie's a red herring. Boogie's like, I'm not even mad at him. Like, a lot of you guys were writing me like, oh, he's saying all these bad things about you. I honestly think Keem could get Boogie to, walk in front of a train at this point. So I'm not even like mildly offended. So let me start off by saying this. I'm not a victim at all. I got into this knowing that it would fall apart. I got into this knowing it would be crazy. And I got into this pretty much aware that I'd be at this point at some point. How did I know this? A, I've been through it before. B, I watched one guy get fired after another. I'll also explain to you in this episode why I haven't been fired yet.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Oh God. So what? There's been like 8 firings from this podcast in total. 7 editors, 1 host. Well, technically 2 hosts, but he was never actually fired. Based in German pill, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because it's just simply logical, isn't it? So Nick there's nothing to predict. We all knew. Like, I got into this. I got into a podcast with Keemstar. He can't keep a podcast together, except if there's a multi-millionaire, like guy worth anywhere between $10 and $100 million, because he can't poke him around. I mean, what's he gonna?
Well, yeah. And from what I'm aware, the only reason why Mother's Basement eventually collapsed was because, what was it? FaZe was going into rehab or something.
Tell FaZe Banks he need to make shorts. It's not happening. That's the only one that was stable. Let me explain to you how this works. First of all, Nick recommended me to do this fantastic idea. And it was everything I thought it would be and more. I talked to Keem. Keem said, I want you to really, really needle these guys. And I'm going to put you in a chat. And then I saw Games Attorney, not the Games Attorney, Games Attorney in there. And I just assumed
the original
they were,
story for this.
You got probably watched Turkey Tom video. I assumed he was like a manager of some kind. He was through Keem, only to find a month later, that Keem had, it actually was a couple months later, because I went in, the first time we recorded was around this time of year last year, 1 year ago, and you guys didn't get to see it till October. And Keem calls me and he says, this guy, I have no idea who he is. I'm like, well, how did he get in there? Like, well, he's friends with Wings. Like, well, he's running everything. He's like, yeah, I know. I think I'm out of this project because I don't know who this guy is. And I thought, oh, that's how this is going to roll. You know, that's how this thing's going to go. So it's going to be typical Keem management. Come in the room, go, you, go, and then bounce. And when nothing gets done right, it'll be either just yell some more, all right, I suppose. And I'm like, oh, that's what it is, right? So right there and then, and me and Wings, we talked about, you know, hoping, like, I think the hope was 2 years, that, you know, we get as much out of as can. And it's been, thank you, Alpha Ruch. It's been amazing. It's been fun.
Yeah, obviously this wasn't going to be a very long-term podcast. Well, even if we subtract Tommy and Keem's relationship in it, it's a Lolcow podcast with some of the most, volatile people on the internet, right? The best you could hope for in a situation like this is if you get, like, hosts to stay at least a year, and then you have, like, a rotating cast, right? Like, imagine if instead of it permanently being Wings and Boogie, it was like a rotating cast, like DSP, Wings, Boogie. Oh God, imagine if like Chris Chan and Cyrax became hosts. That would be hilarious. But Lord knows that's never happening.
A lot of crazy stuff has happened. I don't regret doing it whatsoever. I don't know if I do it again. I think I've had enough. I have not quit. I have no plans to quit. And that's how it starts. So I knew this thing would wear out. Then I started seeing, you know, D-Max getting moved, Connor getting fired. And then, you know, I was tipped off. I was supposed to be fired a couple back in December.
No, yeah, I remember Nick talking about how there were talks of booting Tommy off the show in almost like the very beginning of the podcast, which is just weird to me. So because at that point there wasn't, other than him being combative with the cows, which is what Tommy's there to be. Like Tommy didn't really do anything wrong, you know.
I was warned about it. So it's just, this is the way Keem operates. What he does is he sees what you guys write in the chat. And if there's a certain amount of complaints, then he tries to react to it. The podcast was never going to settle and kind of become its own thing. And when he asked me to be on, he told me he was just trying to get the whole thing rolling for Boogie and Wings. Then I find out he's taking a cut. Well, why can't he take a cut? Because, well, it's his idea. Everything has been produced by him. We wouldn't get off the ground something like this if it had not been for him.
I remember the initial Twitter videos he would make. In fact, I believe we reacted to it on one of Dead on Dave's old shows. I want to say it was one with Willie Mack. But yeah, I remember all of us reacting to the old Keemstar Twitter videos where he's like, DSP, he won't contact me. DSP, he would make so much money. Guaranteed 40K. If he decided to do the show, he won't do it. And that's why he's a Lolcow.
He comes in and takes a cut. So it's constantly changing. And the chaos that you saw in the beginning was something I totally expected. And what happens is Keem kind of zeroes in on somebody, makes them the enemy. They get rid of him.
By the way, holy crap, this stream has gotten 35K views. That's awesome for a stream for Tom. That's amazing.
I'll read all these at the end, by the way. Makes him the enemy, and then just picks 1-1-1. I was in focus, then it went back to Connor, then it went to D-Max, then it went. It's just the way it goes. It's complete and total chaos. Again, I'm not a victim. I knew that's the way it was going to be. I know. Look, I was in the Army. I know what leadership looks like. He doesn't have it. Keem is a fantastic performer, and he's an idea guy. But as far as any kind of management's concerned, he's completely incompetent in that area. Okay, buddy. You throw in Wings and Boogie, who are not the most stable guys on the planet, you have complete and utter and total chaos. So that's what I signed up for. I'm not a victim. Now you're asking yourself.
That is true. I think Keem kind of, like, to put it in like a modern YouTube landscape perspective, I think Keem sees himself as like a drama Mr. Beast, where he's like managing all this different stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, okay, Keem, obviously very successful guy, but his success is never really long term. He's just except for Drama Alert, even then that's had to evolve and change into like shorts content. But like, he's kind of a guy who gets in while the iron's hot, and then when it falls apart, he's able to scrounge what's left of it and then move on to his next project. I mean, God, the guy has had what, like 5-6 podcasts that's always like come up and fail. His most successful podcast being Baited, Mother's Basement, and Lolcow Live. If you guys remember, way back in the day, Only Use Me Blade and Keem had a podcast, and I think it was about like the COD community, or like the gaming community in general. That's a great analogy for Keem. So short-term gains, yeah, he has a lot of short-term gains, which, I mean, and to be fair to him, right? What is good about Keem is, yeah, he was popular during the time of the internet where it was easier to get popular. But to his credit, he was never one of those guys who instantly blew all their money. He was able to hoard it like a dragon, and then he was able to, what it seems like is he invests a lot of his money. I mean, the only public investment we know about is like the FaZe Clan stuff. And I know he was an early adopter of that, so he got in big with that. The point is, Keem really does this now because, one, he's an egomaniac and he needs something to do on his off time. But the other thing is, he genuinely, for the most part, enjoys what he does. But the problem is, the way Keem runs it, it's not for love, it's how much money can I make out of this while this is still active. And because, like, I think how Keem views it is as, yeah, I don't need money, but in order for me to view something as successful, it needs to make money. So I think that's why he's always like, he's pushing for stuff to like, listen here, we need to make more money. I think that's why when he saw how much money the Boogie situation was making, I think that's why he milked it for everything he could. And I don't, honestly, I don't know what the show's going to do in the future.
So why haven't you been fired yet? This is where the bullshit comes in. The reason I haven't been fired yet is because of all the bullshit you've heard. Let me explain what Lolcow Live is and how I relate to it. First of all, I am not an employee of Keem LLC. Never have been. I receive a check through PayPal, and it's up to me to declare in Germany. There are no shares, despite what you hear. I have nothing in my possession written down saying I have so-and-so shares of this project.
Which, if you guys remember, that was always the thing we heard. Oh, well, 25%, 25%, 25%, it was always, everyone has an equal share. When in reality, 25% was always just how they split the money. I guess the only person who actually technically owns anything of Lolcow is Keemstar, because Keemstar views this as his baby, his project, and he's not letting the cows, especially Tommy, anywhere near it in terms of ownership.
None. It's never existed. I simply get a cut, a 25% cut of whatever money comes into the show. That's it. That's what I signed for. And it's good extra money. Like for a part-time job, it's like fantastic. There are no shares. There is no 25% ownership. I own nothing. I have nothing in my name, and nor does any of those other guys have anything in their name that says they own anything. Keem owns the show, lock, stock, and barrel. And that's why I haven't been fired yet, because it blows up the shares narrative, the 25% ownership, and the stuff that we all have to.
Twilight Man, I think the new co-host should just be a bucket of Wendy's chili. Oh, you talking like the big bucket they got? The big, like, family chili thing they got? I mean, no, because, like, if that was the new co-host, the shows would just consist of Boogie and Wings drooling the entire time, and you won't really get any entertaining content from that. It would be funny for, like, a one-time gag, though.
Agree before something's done, like somebody's fired. Connor got fired. I was against it. That's it. The Poolard Pensers got canned last night because he found something to fire him with over the, even though we actually absolutely needed him to make thumbnails and stuff. When I was in a meeting with Boogie and Wings, they both wanted to keep him. We both decided we wanted to keep him. So he was just fired yesterday unilaterally. Everything that's been done, every change that is made has been unilateral by Keem. Therefore, he owns the podcast. Lock, stock, and barrel. That's it. There's no shares. It's a myth. There are no 25% ownership. It's a myth. How can I prove that? Everything that has been done, every change that has been made has been unilateral. I'm not complaining about this. I knew this and sort of rolled my eyes when the fans, who are the really, just kind of like last time, the fans are getting fucked. I mean, you guys are getting screwed. I cannot thank you guys enough for supporting me the way you are. It's been hysterical. Hysterical. Now I'll go on to what happened last night. On Thursday, we'll just go back to, I guess now we'll go to the NDA. Okay. So my thing before I left was there is a line. The NDA was a line. And the NDA was also a kind of a beginning of the end thing for me too, because first of all, there's no apparatus in the United States, in Germany, that can keep me from talking about my salary, even though I never did. And I actually can pull up a
Yeah, the only people who ever talked about how much the show was making was Keemstar and Boogie. Boogie, when he did the interview with CoffeeZilla, and then also too, guys, if you remember, what Keem would do after the streams were over is he would take a screenshot of how the stream analytics did. You've seen me do this before. I posted the stream analytics for the show the majority of the time on Twitter. You know, you can see how many concurrent viewers you had. You can see how many like total views you've had. And you can also see how much money the stream made if there was any super chat donations. And so people would see, oh wait, the show's gotten like 2K in donos this time, 5K in donos. And people were able to like do calculations. I mean, that's what I did. Because Keem was very open about how like the first Boogie cancer stream made like $10,000. Me and a buddy of mine saw that the other stream made about $2,500, and so we all kind of we were doing the math, and we were able to figure out how much each person was going to get from the show. So like, I'm sorry, King, but if you don't want people to know how much money the show is making, don't post your stream analytics. You know, I'm perfectly fine with people seeing my analytics because like. I think the most I've gotten before is like $100 on stream, which don't, by the way, I'm not, clarification, you do not need to donate But still. Let's see. Didn't Keem bring it on Lolcow because Boogie was saying things off Lolcow and he wanted the drama on stream? Yeah, he wanted Keem wants Lolcow drama to strictly stay on the Lolcow live stream, which I get. But also, Boogie was involved in a crypto scam. Of course, CoffeeZilla is going to investigate it. I don't know what you expect there, Keem. Honestly, I'm surprised that's an angle Keem didn't try to attack Coffee over. It's like, you're stealing my content. But anyway, I digress.
The tweet, Keem eventually admitted that I had never said anything to anybody about, and I can show all this stuff. Also, I'll be releasing the entire NDA, so there's no confusion whatsoever. And all you commentators can do whatever you see fit with it. I don't care. I'm not going over that either. I'm not going point by point. I'm not doing any of those things. You guys can have whatever you like. And when I was called a liar about the NDA being open-ended, the solution to that would be release the NDA. He didn't do it. There's a reason for it, because it's all over the place. I'm not a lawyer. I can't dissect it. I'm just going to let the commentary community do it. All right. So that this is point, bitch. Any confusion about what I make, it's anywhere between, depending on the month, $18 to $2,000 a month. And I could be a little confused because dollars get transferred to euros, and then obviously dollars are a little less. All right. That's it. That's all it's ever been. Now, I have a lot more coming into me now, maybe, but that's the way it works. There is no shares. There is no 25% ownership. Nobody could ever produce a thing. It's like, I have 25% ownership of this. I've never signed anything. I've got nothing with my name on it. I'm not an employee. Nothing. If anything, I'm just a contractor without a contract. That's it. I'm paid for being a personality on Lolcow Live. That's it. Originally, it was going to be a podcast. I'm pretty sure, and I was told that Keem didn't want to. I was told by Keem he didn't want to do it, and then all of a sudden he started doing live streams, and I think that was because the Lolcow label, which I wasn't afraid of whatsoever. I absolutely care less if somebody calls me a Lolcow. I just don't care. I'm here to entertain and get paid for it. That's it. That's all. That's what I do. That's what I was hired to do. There's nothing there. Quit. No, why quit? This is exactly what I expected. This is exactly what I expected. This is exactly what I got. This is exactly how I wanted to go. So that's where I stand. So I'm going to have to be fired. I'm not quitting. Why quit? I enjoy it. I'm not even mad. One of the reasons I've done 2 streams since I've gone home. The only reason I didn't do it because I thought it would be good for Lolcow and go on about the NDA. But when that didn't seem to go their way, then Boogie kind of went on and did a stream by himself. Or did he? Because I don't think that's the case. All right. The other thing about why didn't I go on yesterday?
Keem got addicted to the cow milk.
And I find it a bit of a coincidence. When I was told that I couldn't do Saturday, that's when I started hearing about the stream. So on Thursday, me, Boogie, and Wings went. I told them we had plenty to talk about. Their biggest concern, both of them at the time, was we didn't want to just wing it. We wanted to have a plan. We wouldn't just want to go scroll down with the docket, and everything was agreed to. We also agreed that Pulled Pencil should be kept because who's going to make the thumbnails? Who's going to come up with all this stuff?
No, yeah, because like this is the thing, right? Sure, you want to stick to live streams. I get that, right, Keem? You want to do live streams from now on. But, okay, you know what helps promote live streams? Shorts. You know what you know who you need for shorts? An editor. An editor. And granted, I mean, you probably have to cut his pay or maybe double the amount of shorts that you want. But like still, you got a thumbnail maker, you have a shorts guy, and you got someone who can make decent thumbnails. Why get rid of him? Dude, he literally told Boogie to cheat on Desi for the show. And he told Wings to go on a date with a trans woman. At this point, he's grasping at straws because he knows the show is failing. I wouldn't say the show is failing. It's Keem is trying to catch lightning in a bottle again. With the Boogie cancer situation. He's trying to catch that again, and it's not going to happen. He has nothing and should feel bad. Listen, man, I don't know how to tell you this, but you can never make Keemstar feel bad. You can never make Keemstar feel bad. That man shows no emotion unless it's anger.
Pulled pencils. Now it's me. Was the target that Keem has that Chupacabra had, that Connor had. So it moved the pulled pencil. He clipped him yesterday. Now it's going to be on me, which I eventually knew it would be. And at times that you don't know about, it was on me as well. So the only thing is you can get rid of me. You can't really get rid of the 2 stars. The 2 stars are Boogie and Wings. So this conversation ended 100% amicable. We were good. And I was told we're going to start Tuesday. I was like, great. As soon as I hear it's Tuesday, I make my schedule. All right? That's it. Then Keem, it was repeated what was discussed in that chat. Keem said, you're not going to make enough money doing just 1 stream a week, which he's right. He's 100% correct. And that's when Boogie and Wings started to they seemed, from what I could see, started to panic. And then let's do one now. Let's do this. So all the things we talked about, not just.
And from the sounds of it, it seems like Wings and Boogie, they want to make sure that they can still get the money from everything. It's not failing, but it's not rising either. His numbers might be, but people also bottleneck on freeways. It doesn't make it a good thing. Get what I mean, Jelly Bean? I think this is what happens whenever you blow up. It's you like, I mean, to a small degree, I experienced that with like the Review Tech USA drama, right? I saw an increase in subs. I mean, that was the first time I ever had 100 concurrent viewers, which I'm happy about. But I had to learn that eventually I go back to my normal numbers of like having 2 to 12 concurrent viewers, and it was nice to enjoy while I could. Now, maybe if I was like a more of an Augie RFC or a Nicholas Diorio, I would have been able to capitalize on it more. But I had my my brief moment in the spotlight, and I got to enjoy it. Keem obviously was experiencing that on a much larger scale. I mean, the Boogie cancer live streams were getting like 40K concurrent viewers. I can see why that would get to someone's head. But they need to realize that more than likely that's never going to happen again unless like something major happens with either Wings or Boogie again, and likelihood of that happening is pretty slim unless we find out that like Desi's been lying about her age this whole time.
Just going on and winging it just got thrown completely out the window. I said, well, look, I can't do this now, but we should get back into a meeting, right? And then do it. Don't just turn it on and go. Let's get back into a meeting and rearrange the schedule. Okay, we're going to do 2 a week now. That's when me and Wings are going back and forth. That's when I saw the Lolcow live tweet. These guys can't even put it together. And I'm like, oh, this is a work. Keem doesn't want me on Lolcow talking about stuff like this. He doesn't want me to say that the whole thing is his project, his alone, his management, and he pays. He is the boss. I think that Wings and Boogie, even though they probably don't know what shares are, they don't know what part ownership is, they actually believe this stuff, but they don't own anything. And they couldn't produce any paperwork to say otherwise. Keem owns this thing lock, stock, and barrel. And that's why I haven't been fired as of yet. Because once he fires me, then everything you heard about shares and money is bullshit. It's just complete and total horseshit. It's done. It's finished. You've been lied to about the situation before. And I think he kind of thinks he still has a ton of 13-year-old fans that can be told about NDAs and told about this and told.
No, yeah, Keem needs to realize a lot of the audience that he's getting for Lolcow is very, very young. It's not his Snapchat audience. Oop, nerdy. Just dropped a new drama. Desi's been lying about her age all this time. It's fabricated. Oh my god. Okay, we need to change the title of the stream. Desi's been lying about her age, and it's like got the red arrow. It says Boogie pedo or something.
Told about that, and they'll just kind of buy it, but they don't. Like, most of our fans are in their 20s and 30s, and a handful of guys in their 40s. That's why nobody bought this NDA stuff to begin with. I mean, you think I'm...
Oh yeah, because like you have new also perfect freeze frame. Wow, Keem crazy. I know, maggot. I know. I think Keem has to realize that a good portion of his Lolcow base it's going to be people who grew up watching Wings and Boogie. And those people were early adapters of YouTube. So they were like in their teens when YouTube started getting popular. So they're going to be in their like 20s and 30s now. Repeat behavior of lying about that kind of crap, huh? Yeah. And like also too, a lot, because we have to remember at least a good portion of the Lolcow fan base are detractors, right? And detractors are used to like investigating stuff and looking into the behavior of these guys. So I don't know if Keem realizes he can still get away with this kind of stuff or not. Like if they were just out the gate, like, hey, like, cause like they are getting paid 25% of like whatever monthly earnings the channel gets, but that's not ownership. That's just 25% of the cut. I guess they, like, that was a narrative because they wanted to make it look more professional. But if Keem's running the show, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious now, especially at this point, that that's all a myth.
I'm giving Keemstar my address. You're nuts. My name wasn't even spelled right. By the way, my name's not actually Tommy. Would you believe that?
You had a jersey. Yeah, you weren't allowed to have a jersey once.
It's Thomas. My name's not...
I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but no, my name is Perry. My name's Perry the Platypus.
Actually, Callan. It's Callan Ann. I mean, it wasn't the most professional thing I've seen. So when the NDA came in, I was like, no, this is where I draw the line. And I didn't draw the line because he couldn't hold it against me legally. He can't. We're in different countries. But
imagine if Keem was petty enough to try an international lawsuit against Tommy. That would be crazy. I mean, it would suck for Tommy, but also too, I'd be here for it. I get my popcorn. I make content out of it. Keem, please try to internationally sue Tommy. Please try that.
If I sign it, I'll be immediately within a week or two, I'll be in violation of it. And then he can sell that to you. Everything's about selling to you. Everything. Bring Boogie back after he said he couldn't be fired, and then he was fired. And then they had a bunch of polls. Hey, he tattooed himself. Once he felt comfortable with the poll being what it was, that's when he brought Boogie back. That's what this show is. It's nothing more or nothing less than that. That's what it is. That's why I was being pulled constantly. When I fall below 50, I'm gone. Then they can justify firing me. They don't need agreement from Boogie and Wings. They just need Keem. What's your proof? Connor, Chupa, all those guys. Puller pencils. None of our input has ever been respected. This is Keem's thing, and it's okay. It's okay. I knew it was Keem's thing. I would just roll my eyes and pretend that it wasn't. There's nothing there. Some of the other things that came up, somebody wanted to know why I wanted to record the conversation between Keem. Well, that's real simple. When I came back, I said, we're going to discuss the NDA. I want it recorded. You're welcome to record it on your end. The reason I wanted that recorded, and I don't want every single meeting recorded like was said on the show. That's not true at all. I didn't record the meeting between Boogie and Wings. So there's no reason to. Is because I was going to refuse to sign the NDA, and I was pretty sure.
I mean, first off, no. if there's a situation and Boogie's saying something, more than likely the opposite's true, right? Boogie could say that the sky is blue, and everyone retroactively is going to say that that the sky is red, because you can never believe anything Boogie says anymore. Because I'm sorry, once you lie about swatting and cancer, you're never going to be trusted ever again.
Sure, he was going to go to the public and say I quit. So no, then I could say no, I didn't quit. I just won't sign the NDA, and that's really, I think, what this comes down to a certain extent. The NDA is meaningless for anything in reality. I think he just wants me kind of like Boogie and Wings and kind of clinging for the money. No, I'm not in that bad a shape, first of all. Second of all, I'm not going to demean myself that way. That's utterly ridiculous. And the NDA is completely unenforceable. But in a public relations perspective, it is. So if I sign it, I'm just in violation of the NDA. Or if you want to stay on, I could find you in violation of the NDA, or you could do this, which was never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So no, I'm going to sign the NDA, and I'm ready to work. There you go. That's it. That's really all there is to it. So Keem is more than welcome to fire me. Right after I found out, when I saw that tweet, these guys can't even put the whole thing together. I mean, you guys know I can put a stream together on Lolcow. I've done it 2 or 3 times already. I did the whole month Keem is gone. And at the time, I thought that Boogie wasn't working with Keem to do this stunt, because he was always, like I said, our last conversation was really cordial. Everybody agreed on the note. Wings was a little nervous when Keem said, you need to stream more than one. And I don't know what I'm between that. But as soon as I said, look, I can't do anything Sunday, that's when I'm streaming in an hour, or I'm streaming in 2 hours, or whatever it said at the time. And then I thought that was legitimate, that Boogie was panicking and all I had to do was talk to him. So I deleted the stream. And then I lost my perms for Lolcow. So now I can no longer stream. And I don't think the point was ever to get me on again. They knew I couldn't do it. I couldn't start, carrying on and screaming and yelling a situation. I made my plans on Thursday. It wasn't a possibility. I'm not going to sit there and yell the place up and wake at everybody when I said that was off this weekend. And
no, yeah, because this isn't, because I think the only other person with a kid, and we don't count Desi in this. The only other person with a kid other than Tommy is Keem. And Keem's daughter, from what I'm aware, does not live with him, right? So, Keem, other than Brantley, he doesn't have to worry about anyone else. Wings has his stepkids, but I don't think they, with him streaming, every other day, they're used to it by now. Tommy already has a show where he streams 4 times a week. So I imagine that cuts into his time with his kid, because I think Tommy's daughter doesn't really Tommy's daughter lives with her mom, but obviously Tommy still has his son still there, and I'm sure his wife wants to spend time with him, outside of the internet. So the only other solution would be Tommy cutting back on his show, which I don't see Tommy doing, even for Lolcow, because I'm sure he still makes the bulk of his money through Shot from the Point. I'm sure they could work out something, right? Have a main show. Wait, there you go. Have a main show on Saturday. Or Sunday, whatever their official time is for that, right? And then have a members only thing on one of the free days, and just have it be Wings and Boogie interacting with the audience. Boom. Boogie on his knees, bent over 20 is to the thought of Keemstar. Oh my god. Minna, Jesus Christ. I've seen that clip like so many times on Twitter.
And then we start Tuesday. But I think Wings was gassed up and Boogie got talked into doing some fake drama. That's what I think happened. I don't have any proof of that, but that's pretty much what I think. The whole thing looks staged. That's one of the things you guys have a kind of a problem with. I have a problem too. I have a problem being accused of it because I've never been a part of any kind of work. And what I saw last night, the little that I watched, it was just a complete work. When the polls kind of went my way, you started seeing stuff like this. And this is my favorite.
Like all these commentary nerds are like saying, oh, Bait It 2.0, Bait It 2.0. And then after the end of Bait It, Tommy literally went on his stream and would just lie over and over and over again about me. At one point, he was telling everyone that I had kilos of coke in my house around my daughter and everything else, like trying to get my kid taken away. Like it was a whole fucking fiasco. That guy just makes up shit all the time.
Yeah, that would be pretty easy to prove if I did that because I haven't deleted any streams in the last 8 years. But Wings brings up a good question.
Let me ask you a question. Like, why did you? Because you handpicked Tommy to be the third host. Why did you go back to him if he had all these issues?
It's Nick's fault. It's not my management's fault. It's not that I wasn't had my eye on the ball. It's not that I'm not all over the place. I'm more interested in moving the chessboard pieces on the chessboard. It's Nick's fault.
Oh, it's always
He doesn't
Nick's
own
fault.
the podcast and has never made a dime from the podcast. That he brought this guy that, like, I don't know, even if Nick recommended, wouldn't you say that guy accused me of having kilos of cocaine and tried to get my daughter taken away, which never happened, of course. Like, it's ridiculous. I did in our baited, like, final battle, so to speak. We did start mudslinging at each other. I did mention a conversation that actually happened. He said something about going to MLG stuff and doing a little coke, you know, and I did use that against him, but I never said he had kilos of cocaine. And I also did an act
I'm just saying,
where I was pretended I was Keem. And
if Keem had kilos of coke, all I'm saying is sharing is caring. And if you imagine like he ships some cocaine to each of the Lolcow co-hosts, right? Oh God, imagine how entertaining the streams would be. Boogie and Wings on coke. On that note, I'm falling asleep. I have to go. Have a good stream. # Team Tommy. Thank you, Minna, for watching the show. And guys, you know, if you feeling generous today, make sure you hit that like button. Really helps out the stream. And if you're completely new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button.
started coughing up blood, and it was completely satirical. It really wasn't Keem, it was me. And I started calling for his ex-wife. I'd start yelling, Melissa, help, or some shit like that. That's true, but I've never accused him of having kilos of cocaine. But I'm not going to address every one of these things because it's ridiculous. And most of you guys really understand what it's about. Let me hear the rest of this, though.
I tried to get Nicholas Diorio to come and be the third host,
That's
right?
true.
Which he's been hating on the show ever since. And I don't know why, because the show's been wildly successful and he's
And by the way, by hating on the show, what he means by that is making fun of a Boogie, because the whole cancer situation, which, I mean, everyone's done. John, what? I can't advertise my own stream? Am I not allowed to do that, Maggot? Am I not allowed to say, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe? Well, I'm going to do it again, Maggot. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for all notifications. There. I can go further with the advertisement if you want, Maggot.
reacted to it and made all kinds of content off of it. Like, Nick's literally just a hater. He even said in the show, in the chat on this show, he goes, I'm glad I passed on this. I'm like, okay, good. You guys, these guys have been constantly talking shit.
And let me tell you something else Nick and Willie Mack passed on. And they look, I had nothing to lose. I think they saw themselves. Keem offered both of them six-figure salaries to do Drama Alert. They both turned it down because they know what it was going to be like working for him. I knew what it was like me working. I was like, I can handle it. And I'll handle it right until the wave rides off. And I still am. This is what it's like working for him. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm a victim, and I'm not saying toxic work environment or anything. Like, this is it. You've seen it real time. You see all these guys getting fired. You see the chess pieces getting moved all the time. That's just what it is. I was all for it. I think it made it more Lolcow-y, so to speak. But I knew one day that target was going to be on me eventually. And the problem he ran into...
Your cocaine bit, you fool. Hey, maggot. You can't say that Boogie on coke would not be hilarious content. I mean, we've already seen him on shrooms, okay? Presumably, he's probably recorded one of these episodes high off weed. I'm just saying, okay? Can we get some of that, like, cocaine Keffels energy? Wait, no. Her cocaine's, like, cut with meth. Although... hey, guys, okay, screw the knockoff Ozempic that you've been using. I got this newfangled drug that's gonna get you losing weight fast, and that's called meth. Boogie would be 200 pounds lighter within a week, guaranteed, with how he is with drugs. Wow, Keem being a horrible person that you work for, you wouldn't say. Tell me, yeah.
Was you guys like me? He can fire me right now. Right now. He just doesn't want you to turn on the show. And in fairness, Boogie and Wings want to keep the thing going because $2,000 a month is pretty good extra for the amount of work that we do. It's fucking excellent. It's a good time and it's fun and it's funny. And they want to keep that together. They probably want to get rid of me and then hope that Keem does all the streams after that. Which, by the way, he can do right now. I couldn't stream now if I wanted to. He could do it right now. That's it. That's all there is to it. This is Keem continuing his lack of success of being able to keep a podcast together. You know, YouTube's a lot different than being on, like, YouTube is between you and me. Team stuff is a whole different ball of wax, and as good a creator as he is, as fantastic as he's been, that's the part where he can't manage. And if his situation, the only thing would ever work is if somebody was like on his financial level, like face banks. That's it. It's his mom's basement. Everything else is broken up or fall apart and will continue. He will never be able to put a cut. The Keemstar, he will never be able to do it. I remember watching Salvo freak out and go after him and call him all sorts of names and get back and forth. Like, nah, man, you're going to end up just like I did. But this time, so why'd you go back? Well, I knew I could handle it. And I knew it was going to wear out, and I wasn't going to be disappointed when it did. It was great.
Plus, I mean, let's be honest, okay? If an extra $2,000 a month, and you all you have to do is just kind of show up and, you know, do what you do, I take it. You offer me an extra $2,000 to do a show, and all I have to do is just make fun of my two Lolcow co-hosts for a little bit. I do it. I do it in a heartbeat. And let's not pretend. Like, and if you had the opportunity to do it, guys, let's pretend like you wouldn't do it, okay? Even if it's just for like one episode, but you still get like $2,000 from it, you totally do it. I totally
got pretty much a year out of it. That's perfect for me. And by the way, I'm still willing to do it. I'm still willing to do it, but you're gonna have to fire me because if you fire me, you're a liar. I guess they could get them all together and one person could fire me and they could fit into this thing, which is the whole point of the NDA. It's that to have a justification to the public. Well, you violated the NDA. Yeah, I like them, but whatever. That's what this is about. The whole thing is just being completely nuts. I'm called a liar a lot. There's not a lot of like checkable lies, I guess I'm telling, because they don't checked. I make $2,000 a month. That's not a lie. I can happily put out the pay stubs that say Keem LLC in my PayPal account. It's very easy. I'll be releasing the right after this. I'll put this. I'll put it out there on Twitter.
Listen.
You said you were gonna do that, Tommy. I ain't seen other than your screenshot. Other than his initial tweet about the thing. I haven't seen the actual copy. Now I think what happened was he probably sent it privately to some people, and like I would imagine maybe I would imagine maybe like Rachel last night. Keem said he would be up to Tommy coming back to on a show after a little bit of time, and you see, on K-Huck's show, I had mentioned that very thing. Not that what you had just said specifically, but if Keem thought that it could create drama or something entertaining, he would agree to have Tommy back on the show, even if it's just as a guest. I knew Keem would be open to that because Tommy's a confrontational guy. He knew it would create some good clips. He put it up on his Discord. Oh, okay. The Shot for the Point Discord? Okay, where are you at? Shot from the Point Discord, where are you? God damn it. God damn it. Okay, where? I'm just going. My God, this is the most active Tommy serve has ever been. Jesus Christ. Either that or I've overshot it. Riveter. Oh wait, no. Here we go. I'm guessing this is the PDF of it. Let me see if I can get this on. Let me see if I can get this on stream, real quick. Check your Discord. Oh, you sent it to me. Okay. Thank you, Riveter. Thank you. Okay, let's see if this will show up in the browser. It should. All right, here we go. Now, for legal purposes, I am just an internet personality who makes dumb jokes on the internet. Ergo, I am not a legal expert. So, yeah, any opinion that I express here is purely my own and not of anything legal. I feel like that's obvious, but I need to emphasize that just in case Keemstar finds this and say, we got us a fake legal expert here. You know how Keem works, guys. You know how Keem works. Anyway, gonna have to adjust it a bit so that way you can see it on screen. There we go. Okay. This non-disclosure and confidentiality agreement is hereby made into effective upon the date execution. Between Keem LLC is a limited liability company organized and existing under the the company has searched and developed the possession of confidential property information relating to the operation, marketing, methodology, practice, analytics, and means associated with the development of business material, business strategies, advertising, work products, forms, and documents, etc., etc. In connection with creator receiving properties of information. Non-disclosure, except for otherwise required by law, receiving party agreed to a closure, confidentiality agreement, marketing, return of material. Any failure or delay by either party to enforce provisions of this agreement or to exercise any right under this agreement shall. Yeah, I would not. Especially for a podcast that you have no stakes in, I would not sign this either. Who would sign this? And plus two, other than like I guess like some other than some marketing stuff, there's nothing really to to hide necessarily. Like, I mean, like, cause like Tommy, he's not really too much of a. He doesn't really talk about stuff unless someone's already mentioned it before. The only people who were really blabbermouths were really Boogie, Wings, and Keem, not in the sense that he was talking about the financials, other than the one time he did say that they made 10K on a stream. But again, he would screenshot the analytics for the stream, and the analytics for the stream would show how much money they made, which if you don't want people knowing how much you make, you shouldn't do. I can't emphasize that enough.
Right after this, I'll be releasing the NDA. You can go check it out. And any other questions you guys have. That's it. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to go. Even with everything that Boogie said, I don't care because he didn't say it. Boogie is the red herring. So if he went on there and started crying about me, they turn on him. If Boogie goes on there and starts saying I'm the worst person, and then all this stuff is focused on him. I saw on the Lolcow server, everybody's like, oh, Boogie's a jerk. Look what he's trying to fire Tommy. Who does he think he is? That's what he does. That's what he was there for. When I deleted the streams, I lost my prems. That's when I knew Keem's tweet on Lolcow was bullshit, because it said these guys can't even get it together. The reason I deleted it is because I was trying to get it together, so we didn't do what they feared. What they feared is going on and winging it, right? I was like, dude, you're freaking out because Keem said one thing to you. And you were telling me you don't want to wing it. Now you're going to wing it? Look, let me delete the stream. That'll force Boogie to answer me back. There's not 25 fucking calls between me and him. I actually posted that yesterday that I wasn't answering. That's also easily proved. That's it. And don't get distracted. The NDA, it's a red herring. Boogie's freaking out on me. It's a red herring. It's all bullshit.
When doesn't Boogie freak out? Boogie will freak out over the mildest inconvenience, and then later on we'll pretend like, I wasn't freaking out. What are you talking about? I wasn't freaking out at all. Not at all whatsoever.
It's all as far as actually making content on there and making these scenarios, that's bullshit too. I was part of no type of work.
Stop the point, bitch.
The only thing that was ever fake were some of those thumbnails. And I don't really give a shit about that because that's YouTube. So you can, if you want to call that fake drama, that's me. Those thumbnails are bullshit. What's her name got kidnapped? No, that never happened. That's just a joke. It's a goof. When organic drama happened organically. And it's always going to happen with Keem. It's always going to happen organically around Keem and guys like Boogie and Wings. Keem especially because he's constantly trying to do the next thing and move the next chess piece. You don't see this with any other podcast. You don't see this with any other YouTube thing. You see it with Keem. So what does he have to do now? What he's going to continue to do, I doubt I'll ever be on again or allowed to be on again, is try to make me a bad guy. And whatever finally hits, last time I handed him the rope, right? Whatever finally hits, then I'll be let go because you wanted me gone. Because he can't get rid of me now for two reasons. A, everything he said about the show's financial situation and being a team thing and being part owned is horseshit. And it's going to piss a lot of people off. Once that falls, it's see you wouldn't want to be you. And I'm not going to cry about it. It is what it is. Would I like to do Lolcow now and forever? Sure. Is that reasonable under these conditions? No. But I don't own it. It's not mine. It's Keem's. It's not Wings. It's not Boogie's. It's not mine. It's not Connor's. It's not Polluted Pencils. It's not Muda's. It's not Turkey Tom's. It's not Nick Diorio's.
Point, bitch.
It's Keem's. Keem owns this project 100%. And
what was really crazy is that Keem expected Muda, Turkey Tom, and Nicholas Diorio to make him one free episode. Like he expected them to make him free episodes, because again, the point of because the original concept for Lolcow was that obviously you would have your recorded episodes with the cows, and then you would have the Wranglers, which are Muda, Turkey Tom, Nicholas Diorio. If something were to happen or an episode got delayed, they would step in and do an episode. But like it wasn't planned to happen that often. Keem wanted them to do constant episodes. They wanted them to be on a regular basis, like the Lolcow ones. But Turkey Tom, Muda, and Nick would never see any of the money from that. It's one thing if you have them on as a guest on like if you had Muda on as a guest to confront Boogie and like in an actual recorded episode, that'd be one thing. But for them to do like a whole episode for you and expect like nothing for them to ask nothing in return, it's just ridiculous.
And never didn't. If I could delete that thing and then have my prems taken away, Boogie didn't take my prems away. And for him to say, I'm just going to sit back and watch what's happening. No. That's it. It's over with. There you go. That's what happened. It's that simple. What were we going to say, Jeannie? I'll take calls now. Any questions?
Perms. You keep saying prems, and it's perms.
Yeah, perms, whatever. Perms, whatever. That's it. That's all there is to it. Everything else you heard, well, I don't care. I've been called everything under the book.
Stop the point, bitch.
I don't care. I imagine Keem's going to sleep tonight hoping that I get caught with a kid in a hotel. Because then he could possibly justify it. Still willing to go. I understand what I'm working with. I kind of excel in hectic environments, I think. I think I've done a pretty good job. I think I've held those guys to account, which was what I was told to do. If he doesn't like that or he thinks somebody else can do a better job, he can do that. Because nobody owns it besides him. This is all a myth. It was a part of the mythos of the show. That's it. That's all there is. So I'll take calls, and you guys can answer whatever I want.
Bitch.
All right, there is the caller who comes in here and lets Tommy know that he gets fired. But I want to jump to the point where Nick calls in. Is that here?
I expected this to happen. It was great. So no victimization here. It's cool, All right, Chill Force, you're on, and I'll start pulling people up. What do you got?
I wanted to.
No.
Or maybe this.
Right, yeah, that little 1 HP voice on being like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." The episode before this, it's so fucking transparent that he just doesn't want to be bullied anymore.
And keep in mind, I didn't want to do it on.
No, yeah, Boogie is someone who he cries and cries when he is the subject of ridicule. But as soon as he sees that there's blood in the water with someone else, oh my God, he takes every single lick that he can to try and take the person down. And we saw this in the Destiny versus Boogie stuff, because initially Boogie had no sort of comeback to the faking cancer stuff, other than saying that he didn't fake cancer, right? But then as soon as the rally stuff happened, he thought he had some sort of like moral high ground on Destiny at that point, and was trying to go at him for that. But Destiny is a psychopath. He doesn't care, so he just grills him further on the cancer stuff. And Boogie's mind games couldn't work on Destiny.
And here, I wanted to do this on there, but I don't think that was ever going to happen. Because I was just going to go and see this whole thing is a bunch of bullshit. There's no NDA. There's no shares. There's none of this stuff. I mean, he just fired me. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to get. Wings and Boogie agreed, so therefore I did it. Whatever.
Well, one of the things Boogie was saying in the Discord was that, you're probably are going to get fired now because you're booting up your own stream instead of having this out on our show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they scheduled it at a time when I told them in a voice message, I cannot do it right now. I cannot. And that's when I said, well, I'm going on now.
Well, today. Yeah. Today is when they were meeting.
There's another one today?
Were saying that, No, they were saying you could have gone on Lolcow Live today and had it out on there against them.
No. I'm not going. I'm not walking into that situation. The fucking deck's stacked. And I mean, if you look. I have every reason. Keem said that I told people that he had fucking kilos of coke with his daughter. I can't walk into it like, all right, that's a stone fucking lie. I'm not getting a fair shake. It would just be a screaming match. I think like I was gonna go on and do it. They clearly didn't want me to do it. They want the deck stacked. I can do it here, and you guys can take what you want. You can take the NDA, you can take my pay stubs, you can take all this, and you can do whatever you want with it. It's up to you. And I go on, by the way, I go on tomorrow, right? Like, this is not, like, if you guys are turning into, okay, this is the Keemstar War Part 2. No, I'm going right back into regular drama after this. That's it. I'm doing the show. I'm not doing the same thing I did last time. I was deluding myself thinking I could overcome that because I really had never taken L before. So I'm just going to go on doing right what I was doing prior to this. So, and guess what? I get to sleep at night now. So there's some good things to look at. I'll take more calls. Thanks, Show Force. Appreciate the support. All
right. Hellbent has another question about
the
NDA.
I'll put her on.
So, yeah.
Go ahead. Hellbent, you're on. Hellbent, go ahead.
She's messaging me, so just get...
She's on phone, that's why.
Come on.
Go ahead.
I'm glad Discord stopped doing the whole because like I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but there's a period in time where if you tried calling in on a phone through Discord, specifically I think it was like an Android only thing, you wouldn't be able to talk. You would have had to have been given perms to join the voice channel in order to actually talk. Luckily that's been solved. But unfortunately, I don't know if it's like a purely like connection thing or what. But it always takes a minute for a phone user to actually like be able to hear and like talk during the call. And it's annoying. It's so annoying.
You can ask me direct. Hellbent.
Sorry, fuck. I've got the stream on. So in terms of the NDA, right? So I wanted to ask a clarifying question. So you published it on Twitter, and Keem then came out and said, that was just like a draft. I didn't even read it. It was from my lawyers. And Tommy and the rest of them were supposed to come back to me with their comments.
That's after I said no. That's it. That was only after I said no. And then I said I would only sign it.
Mm-hmm.
I only said I would sign. I wanted to say if it had one line, because there's like a bunch of. It's 7 pages. Let me double check this thing. I think 7 pages.
Yeah, it was 7 pages, and the ending one had like no. Like I've signed an NDA before for work, and that one I gotta say was like 26 pages at least.
Dude, he tried to explain this to me. I was laughing my ass off. He's like, all right, so hold on. So your biggest problem is you don't want people to think that you're not paying your employees on your show. Yes.
Do you have a clip of that?
So what you're going to do is you're going to make them sign a document that you know Wings and Boogie are going to break, so you can dock their pay because they can't afford to pay whatever you're suing them for.
That's what I was saying. That's why I wouldn't sign that shit.
Okay, yeah. So you want to be known as the guy who pays their employees. So you're putting in something so you don't have to pay them anymore. You're really not selling this to me on why this is a good idea. You know. I mean, after Boogie announced that he fucking faked cancer, Wings is like, man, what are we gonna do with the cut of his show? Like, well, what are we gonna do with his money?
No, yeah, because Wings was hoping that he gets some of that.
Or whatever. Like, that's all they think about is money.
Yeah, if you look at my stream right now, I'll just so there's 1 page, 2-page exclusion, non-disclosure, use limitations, markings. That's 4. Foreign corrupt practices, indemnity, attorney fees, governance, no waiver. You know, like, I don't know what half this shit is. I'm a lawyer, and he wants me to go with tooth by tooth. I said, no, we make it simple. Have it say one line, and one line only, right?
So, because I've seen a criticism that, Tommy maybe jumped the gun by publishing this on Twitter. Maybe
I literally, like, how can I jump the gun? I waited like 2 weeks. I said I would do it. I think I never published the thing on Twitter. I just said, no way, get fucked. I just published it now.
No, I thought you posted a screenshot from
No, only a screenshot to say it was, so he couldn't turn around and say I didn't do it.
Yeah. So what I'm asking is, what was the communication between Keem initially sending you that, and then
we were
you posting?
Supposed to have a meeting We were supposed to have a meeting that got broken, that didn't come to fruition. Nobody's fault, not his or mine, when I was over there. And that's what the meeting was supposed to be about, which I would have said no, just on principle. All right. Mm-hmm. And then I started, then I got in like, nobody signed the NDA except for Boogie. And then I said, Keem, I said it really polite. I'm not signing the NDA.
Why am I not surprised? Boogie was initially the only person who signed that.
Hey, buddy. Right. I said it politely. Then I got another demand. And then he immediately said, well, I guess it's been real. It's been a good run. So in other words, sign the NDA or I'm ending the podcast. And then he said it again. And I was a lot more, that's never happening. That's the tone I used. Right. Then he had a complete fit. And that's when I posted just the screenshot of the NDA and said, get fucked. Because he doesn't respond to no. He doesn't respond to polite. He definitely responds. I know what he responds to. YouTube comments, Twitter, and stuff like this. I wanted everybody to know there was just no way I was doing this. And I didn't. If I got fired for no explainable reason, now you know. Now you know.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
I mean, from what I can tell, it looks.
So yeah, that's Tommy's side of the story. The cows badly on their end have tried to explain things. Oh god, let's check out that train wreck of a stream that they initially tried doing.
Heel cute.
Oh yeah, by the way. This stream right here, mono, so it's going to be in one channel. It's going to be in your left ear.
I love you too.
The point that Keem said, like, 10 hours have passed and nobody even responds to the people in chat. He's talking about me. You're not responding to me. The first time I heard Boogie's name was right here on this fucking stream. You have said nothing in the chat other than I'm going live.
We have
So yeah, I don't know how he was able to stream. Because Boogie Boogie has streamed before. That's the thing. How come his audio is in one channel?
Text
should know how
chat
to fix
now
this.
that we can do this on. You can DM me, right? And
I did that too.
And you can get.
You can't see it, but I got the chat saying "Fix your audio, Boogie. Fix your audio."
I don't
free
listen,
Tommy.
I don't think the plan for the show is to have Lolcows on. Is that who's the person? Is it a fucking Lolcow? Is it a fucking
Cobra is a Lolcow, but that wasn't the fact that I was getting him on. I was getting him on because one, the show is called Lolcow Live, and Lolcow drama just happened that people would be interested in.
Yes.
He just broke up.
So, complete train wreck of a stream. R.I.P. And I know last night they had tryouts for the next co-host. Obviously, no one, I think, is going to get picked. And if they get picked, it's going to be for like one episode. So, yeah. R.I.P. to the next poor sucker that they get co-hosting this. But guys, thank you for supporting the channel. Like I said before, if you're new, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you want more content. And, it's time to shout out the members of the channel. First, we gotta thank Pigeon Salad, who's been like the biggest supporter for a while now. He's the $9.99 tier. Super Nerd 3 has gone further beyond in the support of this channel, and I seriously, I can't thank the guy enough. And then we have I have the $4.99 tier with I Have Loved the Stars Too Fondly, the Ascended Nerd, the Ascended Super Nerd. Thank you so much, man. And then we have the Super Nerd 1, which is just the 99-cent tier. Again, you're not required to financially support the show in any way. However, if you do want to support the show, this is the one I recommend because all tiers of memberships get all the same access. So we have Lady Nerd Artist, GG Hearts, J1K, Twilight Midna, Zaylin, K-Huck, Micken, McMuffin, Daniel J, Annie, and Mike the Bike. Guys, thank you so much for all the support you've given to the show. I do plan on being more consistent with the morning streams coming soon. Nothing's set in stone yet, though. There might be some changes coming soon for the better. And so, with that out of the way, let's sign out with a song. If I can find it. If I can find it. There we go. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
This is a first-rate town, and all you ever notice are the ways it stretched too far. Well, it has been knocked down, but some of us are still left here between the stars. And when you look around, all you ever notice is you cannot see the stars. This is a first-rate town, you know. You just can't see very far, can never leave, 'cause they'll all lit against me. You can never leave, 'cause they'll all lit against me. You can never leave, 'cause they'll all lit against me. You can never leave. But when the last door closed, you packed your clothes and went back to Montreal. Said it was colder there, a chill hangs in the air, it helps you forget it all. You left an empty bookshelf that I didn't fill till fall. This is a first-rate town, you know. You just can't see very far, can never leave, 'cause they'll roll it against me. You can never leave, 'cause they'll roll it against me. You can never leave, 'cause they'll roll it against me. You can never leave. Well, it will fade as all things must. I loved you, but you didn't love me enough. Winter comes, the car will rust. I'll start it up, then always run a little rough. This is a first-rate town, and all you ever notice are the ways it stretched too far. They'll keep the death rates down, it's colder than a winter spent in defrosting cars. We talked a lot of leaving, didn't think you'd get that far. This is a first-rate town, you know. You just can't see very far.